Have you ever gone through some sort of trauma or hard experience in your life that might be related to trauma? I'm the Tranquil Hummingbird, and I'm on top of a mountain right now, looking over this good view, and feeling good vibes, good energy. Let's just jump right into it. Alright, so this video is kind of about what trauma is, and PTSD, and how you can overcome it, and live a good life even after going through something very hard. So some people can go through a terrible traumatic event and be fine, and some people go through a traumatic event and yet they're affected for years, and there's many reasons behind that. Certain symptoms of trauma and PTSD is where you have nightmares and flashbacks, avoidance, fear, anger, anxiety, rage, insomnia. When these things make it hard to function in your life, then it's called PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. And usually when people have PTSD, then there's, they relive the event where they have sudden flashbacks of memories or nightmares, or their brain just tries to do whatever they can to get away from the event of what happens, like avoidance. Or they have excessive physiological arousal to where your heart starts pounding for no reason, or your muscles tense up, or your eyeballs, this is the weird one, your irises can shrink and grow in size very quickly, or you'll have negative changes in your beliefs and ideas about yourself or about the world. People who suffer from trauma and PTSD might not even realize that they've lost control of themselves and are in habits, and basically they get addicted to habits and stuff because it helps them feel relieved from their emotions. Or also when people have PTSD, then they feel the feelings of numb or feeling dead inside, and to where they just don't feel anything anymore. Things that used to make them happy no longer make them happy. And so why do some people go through traumatic events and then they're fine, and why do some people have them happen and then they can't shake it? They can't get away from it for a long periods of time afterwards. Healing over a traumatic event is a process. It's steps that you have to follow. And one of the first steps that those are is to let yourself feel the emotions and feelings that come through it. If you're feeling like, oh, I can't believe this happened, then you can go and say it. You can let yourself feel that way. It's okay. It's all okay to feel the things that happen. And if you're just sitting there like, I can't believe this just happened. I was just in a car accident. The car was on fire, and you're feeling all of these emotions. It's all okay. And it's okay to feel those things. You're a human, and you went through something, and it's okay. And if you're feeling like, oh, I can't believe this happened, it's okay. You can go and just tell everyone, oh, I can't believe this happened. And you can let yourself feel that way. It's okay to feel the shock and, feel all the feelings that come through it, and not resist that kind of stuff. And because when you resist it, then you're denying yourself of what you need to be going through right now. You're not letting your emotions go, and it's holding you back. And so one of the ways you can begin to heal from trauma is to understand it's okay to feel those things and to let emotions flow and stuff. And the reason your brain is creating these emotions and feelings and symptoms is because your brain wants to protect you. It wants to defend you, and it wants to prevent you from getting into that situation again that was traumatizing. Because it's saying, whoa, something terrible just happened. We want to avoid that from happening again, because that wasn't very fun at all. And so now your brain is kicking itself into all these different modes and feeling all these emotions just so that because it's doing all it can to prevent you from having a terrible experience again. And it's all normal. All the feelings and emotions that come are all normal. It's part of being a human. And when you realize that and you don't resist it and you accept what comes and goes, then that will help you start to overcome it. And yeah, just understanding that any emotion that you feel right now is valid. If you're thinking, what is happening to me? why am I feeling this way? I should be stronger than this. Like you see in the actors in the movies, right? They get blown up and then they get back up and they're back into the action scenes. Like, life isn't that way. If something terrible happens, humans aren't really like that. Real life isn't that way, where you can just bounce back up immediately. Things take time. If you've been hurt, then it's okay to feel certain emotions about the event that happened. Even if nobody understands the experience you went through, it's okay. If nobody really understands and they're thinking, oh, why are you feeling that way? And it doesn't feel very nice to not have people understand. It's okay, and you can understand that, and just it's all part of the healing process. So once you've gone through the first step of that process, then the second step is to understand that you can't change the past. Is that what happened, and it is what it is. Once you go through the phase of, I can't believe this happened, then you can then start to realize, oh, it did happen. And then when you accept that, you're one step closer to being healed from it. And this is extremely hard if you're still in the first step. If you're still in the first step of healing from trauma, then it's okay. You don't want to rush the process. You want to take things in your own time. You want to take things in a way that's relaxing and comfortable for you. If you've been in a traumatic experience, then there's a lot of hurt that comes from it, and it's okay to go through the process and everything. And if it's hard to accept the past and the moment, if it's hard to accept that, then it's okay, and you can still work on the first step and go in your own pace. All things happen in their own due time, and it's all okay. And yeah, go at your own pace until you're ready to accept that what happened, and you can't change that. And that is one of the ways that you can recover from trauma. Now, the third way to recover from a traumatic experience is to ask yourself, now what can I do about what happened? What kind of actions can I take to make so that this terrible experience can improve myself and other people's lives? How can I take this experience to improve myself and bless others? And this is actually quite a beautiful step, because this is the step where you can take something terrible and create something good out of it. You're taking something painful and you're creating something good out of it. And if you can take a bad experience and create good from it, that's a powerful thing right there. That's very powerful, because now you have control back into your life. You're taking action. Those bad experiences don't control you anymore. And you can take something that was once bad and hurt you and now create something good out of it, to where you can then bless other people, and it's so beautiful. It's such a great thing. If you can take an event that we got sirens going right now. If you can take an event that once brought a lot of fear, guilt, shame, anxiety, anger, and all that stuff, a terrible event, if you can take some of that and create something good out of it, then it helps you overcome. It doesn't bother you anymore. It doesn't have control over you. To where now we got sirens right now. Someone's probably going through a traumatic event right now, and it's all okay. It's part of the world we live in, and that's part of being a human, is that we experience things. And I'm sure those people that are having those sirens right now, they're probably going through something, but so is everyone on this planet. And if you're watching this video right now, so are you. Anyway, when you go through something traumatic and you use it to create good, this is where post-traumatic growth happens. Yes, that is a thing. I discovered it just recently too. And that's where you can take a traumatic event and create good out of it. That's where you grow from it. Maybe you can let it teach you a lesson. Maybe it can teach you long-suffering, or patience, or pain tolerance. Maybe you can be there for someone else who is going through the same thing, and you can comfort them and say, hey bro, I was there. I felt that. And here's what I did to get out of it. And and you can help other people, and you can give them your solutions to where now you're creating good out of it. And if you can take your bad experiences and create good out of it, pretty soon you get to a point where you're grateful that it even happened. And that's where you fulfill the scriptures, where the scriptures say to be grateful in all things. And so when you create all this value to where like, whoa, this bad experience has now done a lot of value for me. It did a lot of good. And that's where the power comes, where you have the power to take something bad, create something good out of it. And yes, it is possible. And this is where you're basically healed from your trauma. To where if you ask the question, oh, this terrible thing happened, can I recover? Can I live a life that is happy? The answer is yes, you definitely can. You might not be the same person you were before the traumatic event happened, but you can definitely heal from it, and you can definitely live a fulfilling and happy life afterward. So with those three things, with accepting the way you feel, letting your emotions go and let them flow, and accepting the past and realize that you can't change the past, and then when you take the bad experiences and create good out of it, that's when you can resume your life living happy, fulfilled, and you can create a meaningful life again. Okay. Now, there are 4 things that keep you stuck in the trauma, right? There are people who can get out of trauma, and there are people who can't. And there are 4 things that happen that keep you stuck and will prevent you from making the recovery that you want in your life, and to get over the events that happen. The first thing that people do that keeps them stuck in the trauma to where it prevents them from recovering is asking the question, why? Why did this happen? Why did this terrible event happen? The reason it holds you back from recovering is because there's never an answer good enough. There's never an answer good enough to solve that question. People who get out of trauma and people who are stuck in it both know that there is never an answer that is going to satisfy that. You're never going to feel satisfied with any of the answers that people might try to come up with that. Because you might think of a few small reasons. Oh, someone went through, this terrible event might have happened because, blah, 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 coming up with solutions. And it won't satisfy it. It never will. And the reason that this is so harmful to where it's hard to get out is because you're stuck in the past and you can't accept what happened. You can't change it. And when you're always asking the question, why? Why did this happen? Why did I have to go through this? Why did someone else have to go through this? They didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve it. Why did this happen? You're still in the past. And when you can say, okay, what happened, then that's when you can get back on track to healing from it. The second thing that prevents people from healing from trauma is the question, what if? Oh, what if I had done something different? What if I had done this? What if I had done that? What if I had said something to that person? What if I had done something different? What if I could just go back and change it? And this question too, asking this question to yourself all the time, does not help you recover. It keeps you stuck in that state. Because when you're trying to figure out, what if I had ... then you're constantly reliving the event. You're constantly taking your memories back. And it makes it nearly impossible to move on, to accept that what happened did happen. And you can think of a million different things of what you could have done, or different solutions of what could have been taken to prevent what happened, but it doesn't matter, because you never will be able to go back and change what happened, because what happened. And when you can't accept that, that's when you get stuck in it. The truth of the matter of asking yourself, why did this happen? What's really happening is you start to feel shamed because you feel like you weren't able to prevent what happened. that it was your own fault. And it's all okay. Even if this is happening to you right now, then it's okay. It's human nature to do that. It's totally human nature to think, oh, what if I had done this? Or what if... Because your mind wants you to learn a lesson. It doesn't... Your subconscious brain doesn't want you to suffer. It doesn't want you to go through terrible things. So it's going to do things that, prevent it from happening again. But you also need to figure out how to heal from it. And thinking, what if I had done this and stuff, doesn't help you move on. You can still learn your lessons and move on. And when you realize that you can't change the past and that you can accept it, then that's when you're back on track for being healed. And if you're still stuck in the first phase and you're saying, I can't believe this happened, and you're feeling, guilt, shame, fear, anxiety, and all of those symptoms that come from trauma, it's okay. And the reason I'm making this video is to show you how you can get out and begin to live a life that's free and happy and be free from the trauma. And so always go at your own pace in situations like these. The third thing that prevents people from going through trauma, or is getting over trauma, is saying, why don't people understand me? How come nobody really gets it? Why can't people know exactly what I'm going through and know that these things have caused me to feel this way? Why can't they see that that's normal? And that kind of thinking doesn't help you get out. And other people might relate to it a little bit and give empathy and compassion, and humans definitely should have empathy and compassion. But, if people still don't understand, then it's okay, because you can accept that your feelings are valid. Other people don't need to validate your feelings. You're a human. You went through something hard. You went through something painful. And, you don't need other people to validate that. You don't need other people to go, oh, I know exactly what you're going through. And even though it might sound nice, then if you just constantly wish and wish and wish that will happen, it will only hold you back. And people don't always know exactly what you're going through. And the last thing that prevents humans from getting over trauma is when they allow the terrible event to change their beliefs on themselves, of other people, and the world. When you allow it to change your beliefs, then that's when it's really hard to recover from, because your beliefs is your foundation of your life. That's what makes you think the way you do and act the way you act. It's all down to your beliefs. Sometimes people, when they go through trauma, they get events like they get thoughts and beliefs like, I'm not good enough anymore. I'm never gonna make it through this. I'm not a good person. I'm not worthy. I am unlovable. I'm a bad person. Or maybe even thoughts like, I deserved it because of what a bad person I am. And there's, even though it's okay in human nature that this happens, then this will really hold you back. It's very destructive, and it will not help you get through the experiences of what happened. And these beliefs, they will slow you down immensely. Some people, when they go through trauma, they think that the world is no longer a safe place. They say, oh, the world is unsafe. Life is fragile. People are not to be trusted. The world is not to be trusted. And stuff like that. And it's all because their brain is just trying to protect them, and that's how they're dealing with their emotions. That's what comes out of the emotions. And it's human nature. It really is. But it also doesn't really help. And this is how you can get through that stuff, is by not letting the event change your beliefs, even if it's very hard. These beliefs that change your views about yourself and other people and the world in a negative way, to where you now feel negative about all those things, doesn't help. Creates a lot of painful emotions that only hold you back. You can change your beliefs by meditating, and by being aware of your thoughts, and by literally telling yourself, by neuroprogramming yourself through language, through You can verbalize it too, or you can think it. But even if you don't feel like it, you just think to yourself, I am not unlovable, and I am not unworthy. And you can tell yourself, no, I am worthy. I am a lovable person. And that this traumatic event, shouldn't have that effect on me, because you should treat yourself very well and carefully in these kinds of situations, because a lot of times people will beat themselves up over what happened, maybe because they think, oh, well, what if I had done this? I must not be a very good person because I couldn't prevent what happened. And it's kind of wrong, because you didn't know it was going to happen. You didn't know what was going on at the time. If you did, well, you would have definitely done what you could to change it. And yet people don't realize that, and they beat themselves up over it. And I went through this myself. What I said about the car accident, that happened to me just the past 2 months. I was going through the trauma myself, and I've gone through these steps. And that's why I'm making the video, is because I went through these steps and I saw that it worked, and now I want to show to the whole world of how to get out of trauma. And so I know what I'm talking about. Don't let yourself build these beliefs that you're unlovable or that you are unworthy. And same with the world and people. Don't let yourself believe that, oh, people can no longer be trusted. The world is unsafe. Don't let yourself believe those things, because they're a lie. And you can program your brain by being aware and by thinking thoughts, forcing yourself to literally think them into believing, no, other people, I can trust them. I can believe that the world is a safe place. I can believe that the world is beautiful. I can believe that I will live a happy and fulfilling life with lots of meaning. And when you tell yourself that, when you say, no, I deserve these things, I deserve a happy life, and I deserve to feel fulfilled, then your beliefs will help you accomplish that. And so challenge your beliefs. If a traumatic event happens, don't let yourself beat yourself up over it. You challenge your thoughts and tell yourself that you are enough, and that you are still a good person, and that even if you were a terrible person, even if you were a bad person in the past no longer defines you. Who you are is who you are right now, and what you're going to do with the time given to you now. So even if you did do terrible things and you think, oh, I'm a terrible person, you can let that past go and think, okay, no, in this present moment, I'm going to change that. I'm going to change, and I'm no longer going to be a person I don't want to be. And I'm going to choose to believe that the world is a beautiful place. And I want to love my life and everything in it. And tell yourself that. And it's very important, because your beliefs are your foundation in life. And if you build terrible beliefs, then they will manifest themselves. And you won't get the results that you want to make you happy. So when you avoid asking the questions of, why did this happen? What if I had done this or that? And why doesn't anyone understand me? And when you don't let yourself adopt terrible beliefs, then that will help you to get over the events. That will help you to accept the past, move forward, and begin living a happy life again. And I tell you, it works. I'm living a happy life. I am, even though the bad things happen, and it's hard, and it's very hard, then I've recovered from it. And life is amazing. I'm up on this hill right now, and it's a great view. And when you allow yourself to feel the emotions of what happened, to say, okay, it's all okay. It's human nature, and you don't judge yourself or beat yourself up over it. And when you accept the past and believe that when you accept that what happened, And when you learn to take the bad experiences and events and turn them into good things to help yourself grow and to help bless other people, well, then you'll just say, "Feels so good to be alive!" I hope people heard that. When you do all that, you can live a happy and fulfilled life, and you'll be free from the trauma. Now, as the Great Shepherd said, peace be unto you. Thank you guys for watching. I put a lot of work into this, and I'm really happy that I can share it with whoever's watching it right now. And I'm really excited about it. I'm pumped up, and I'm happy to share it with people and stuff. And so, if you've come this far in the video, thank you for watching. I really hope that it benefits you. I really hope that, that what I say can help bless other people's lives. And anyway, thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you next video.